Hello everybody, it's me, Taillamp Studios, and welcome back to another video. This video is going to be a little bit different than what I usually do. I'm actually going to be doing something that I've actually promised that I would do for quite a while. This is going to be my first proper model showcase that I've done in a little series that I like to call Taillamp Showcases. So for the first installment, I figured, why don't I talk about a model that I actually completed fairly recently? And that is my model of none other than Thomas. When it comes to modeling, Thomas is without a doubt a model that I have been trying to perfect to my liking for many years now. I have gone through many different stages when it comes to trying to make a model of Thomas that I'm happy with. Those who have been following my YouTube channel for quite a while will know that back in 2021, I made a model of Thomas using SparkShot's Baby E2 shell. I ultimately wasn't really happy with how the end result looked, and honestly, the look of the Baby E2 kinda didn't sit right with me for a while, and ultimately I scrapped the idea. I eventually sold the body shell to my buddy Joe, and he's making better use of it than I could. So for a while, I just flat out didn't have a Thomas model. Until one day, I decided that it was time. I got a Bachmann Ginty for Christmas, and I got to work instantly. I found a neat little E2 shell on Thingiverse that was made by Tidmouth Fireman, and I got it printed by my good buddy Ray the Bay. When the body shell arrived at my house, it looked like this. Yeah. I spent God knows how much time removing all the supports from this model. Once I got all the supports removed, I then sanded the model, half-assed sanded it anyway, and gave it its first paint job. And oh God, did it look terrible. It was hand-painted, which is mostly why it looks so terrible, and it was in my opinion, not so great blue. It didn't help that I did a half-assed job at sanding the thing, so I just didn't touch the model for a long time. I then picked up the model again about a month later, and I re-sanded it, this time making sure I did a extra good job with trying to sand it, and I actually got it to a state to where I actually liked it. Once that was done, I actually decided to spray paint the model rather than hand paint it. I used Rust-Oleum Oasis Blue for it, which in my opinion looked so much better than the original blue that I had used. I then painted some of his extra details such as his smoke box, footplate, and cab interior, and then I decided to do lining. I use .35mm Fox transfers for lining, which is something that I personally recommend for lining. It can be a pain in the ass sometimes, but if done right, can look really nice. When it came to lining, I wanted to do something a little bit more eye-catching, so I opted to do some sort of similar lining that was used on a real E2 with the curved corners. This was a huge pain in the ass to do, but again, still worth it. I then threw a 1 on his sides, which again is Fox transfers. At this point in time, I also thought it would be cool to give Thomas red side rods. Why? I don't know, I just thought it looked cool. I then added other details such as his smoke box door and his safety valve, which are both from a Bachmann E4, his buffers, which are literally just spare buffers that I had lying around, coupling hook, brake pipe. I gave him real coal in his bunker, gave him some small bits of weathering, and then added a gloss clear coat. And then, after all that...
Thomas was a tank engine who lived at a big station. He had 6 small wheels, a short, stumpy funnel, a short, stumpy boiler, and a short, stumpy dome.
Thomas was finally done. After God knows how long it took me to try to perfect my Thomas model, I think I've gotten it to a state where I'm happy with it 100%. This model admittedly was a bit of a pain to make, but at the same time, it was fun learning some new tricks and new methods for modeling. I once again want to thank Tidmouth Fireman for designing the shell and to Ray the Bay for printing it. These guys have some seriously amazing work, so definitely go check them both out. I will leave the links to their Twitter in the description, as well as the Thingiverse link to the E2 shell if you want to print them yourselves. Hope you all enjoyed this first installment of Taillamp Showcases, and until next time, this has been Taillamp Studios, saying goodbye and peace.